Welcome back to North of the Broad. With me now is Reverend Chad Lawrence and Mrs. Victoria Betz, and I have to say I'm really excited for this interview because I think it's an amazing story, and I can't wait to hear it. So first, tell us about our special guest here.
Well, this is Victoria Betz. She is one of Holy Trinity's very newest students, and as you'll hear, she came coming to me desiring to take one class, but it turned into several classes at Holy Trinity Classical Christian School.
Okay, and what intrigued you and made you want to go ahead and let her take the classes?
Well, I knew Mrs. Betz and her late husband Jack, who I had just the utmost respect for him and for Victoria. And I could see Victoria was searching to what would life look like for her after the passing of her beloved Jack. And I knew that she also wanted to take Greek, and we decided to offer Greek to our students this year. I also think that schools tend to be our society in general just seems to be so fragmented. I mean, when are high schoolers coming in contact with those who are retired or other than family? And I think, look, I can't change all of society, but let's begin to at least influence where we are.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd just be great for the students to learn from Victoria, but for Victoria to also be blessed with the students.
Yeah, I mean, because we do have so much to teach each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's very rare interaction.
Yeah. So Victoria, tell me about your decision to go back to being a student.
Yes, I wanted to do more theological study after my husband died, and I knew that I needed biblical Greek in order to do that.
Okay.
I searched for a year and only found places that were geographically not workable for me and also cost prohibitive. So I happened to hear that Holy Trinity was offering biblical Greek for the first time this year to the 11th grade. And I called Reverend Lawrence that very day and said, please, would you mind, could I? So he said, of course, come in, and he gave me a most gracious welcome and introduction to the class and the teacher.
That is so cool, for lack of a better word. I just think that is awesome. And tell me how it has been to be a student again.
It has been a tremendous blessing every day, and I am thankful every day to be in a place like Holy Trinity. There are three reasons, principal reasons. The first is the leadership, and I have to brag about Reverend Lawrence because he won't brag about himself, but he is a man of deep faith, high expectations, high standards for himself as well, and a great sense of celebration and fun, of which there is a lot at this school. Secondly, the level of teaching and the curriculum are more to me like a college seminar than a high school class.
Okay.
High level of instructional competence and a high level of engagement by the students with the teachers, and wonderful and challenging coursework. So I'm loving every minute of it. It's been a joy. And the third thing is the comfort level between students and teachers there, and among students and with students toward me.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Yes.
How has it been with you and the students?
Tremendously comfortable, gracious, and welcoming. They see me as a student there, eager to learn as they are, and not some old person who's in there to monitor how they're doing. There's none of that. So they're very precious young people, and they treat me with not just acceptance, but friendliness and respect, and that's the way they treat one another. You don't hear chaos in the school. You don't hear bad language. I've never heard an insulting remark.
How wonderful
by
is
anyone.
that? That's amazing.
It's like
Obviously,
Brigadoon.
you've created a great environment. Tell me what you have observed with the students interacting with Mrs. Betz.
Well, I would say one thing I observe is the approach with which Mrs. Betz, how she approaches the studies. She's very studious. She works hard, you can tell. And so many high schoolers are asking, why do I have to take this? Or why do I have to do this? And they're doing it because in some cases they have to, because it's a requirement. Yeah. But to see Mrs. Betz come in because she wants to, well, that's infectious.
Yeah.
Not only that, but they genuinely miss her when she's not there. I mean, I had a number of students remark to me, where's Mrs. Betz? And she just had other obligation that particular day, but they just find her to be kind-hearted, genuinely interested in them, and asking them questions, and they find that so refreshing. And so their reaction's been just tremendous.
Well, kudos to you for doing it, and thank you so much to both of you for being here to share your story with us. We really appreciate it, and we'll be right back with more North of the Broad.